Hello, this is Bridget Rao with Divine Essentials. Alright, we have another 11 special, and it is, does he know that we are divine soulmates? This person has felt a shift in the energy with this person, and we got the sun here. So, I feel like, yeah. It's always weird when something like this happens in the beginning of a reading, because it's like, yep, now what? You know what I mean? Like, just, so let's see what else is going on here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. We got some more, yeah. Hierophant is a higher level commitment. 3 of Pentacles is 2 people coming together to work on something, to build something, to make it good, So, yeah, he knows, he's aware, and whatever shift you felt is because of that, okay? So, yeah, he's ready to be the Emperor. He's ready to give to you the way that you deserve to be given to. So if you felt like this in the past and that's caused you to put up your guard, I feel like it is safe to let the guard down. Because if you go in feeling like, you might cause some conflicting. Now, again, that doesn't mean go against your intuition. That means pay attention so that karmic cycles don't repeat. Because just because he's aware of it, and just because he's like ready right now, doesn't mean that those old triggers can't poke their head in there, because we're still human. We still have stuff to deal with. Like, when Twin came back and was like, I'm all in, I'm all set, let's go, let's do it all, and wanted to learn all the things and everything, I was like, okay. and then over time, over time things happened. And some of that could have happened because I was like halfway like expecting it to happen or nervous about it happening. But other reasons why it would happen is because those were their patterns and those were their karmic cycles. Those were their lessons and things that they needed to fucking continue to do until they were no longer doing it, until they're ready to be able to do things the right way. And I've got to trust myself in like catching those things too, so that I do things the right way, so that I respond the right way to when they do things that are not good. Like, that's not acceptable behavior, and if I allow you to do that, you're going to treat me in an unacceptable way. So no. and yeah, Queen of Swords. So be the Queen of Swords where it's necessary, but not to your own demise, not to your own just like, I think he might, so I'm going to treat him like he has until he does. That's where we've got to find that fine line. Like, if someone shows up out the gate and they're like good, you feel that shift and this is what you've been waiting for, stay in that vulnerable, authentic place and speak to each other, communicate with each other, so that emotions can be like open and out there and mature and things like that. Make sure they're not like, getting like say like somebody's like drinking or something, or smoking weed or something, and like clouding their judgment. The way that we behave in those times may be different than the way we would behave if we were sober, or in a vulnerable moment where we don't have those things that let down our guard. It's like we've got to get used to letting down our guard anyways. And I feel like sometimes even our beliefs can act as like that clouded judgment. This has been a recurring theme right now, where I did a thing with a girl last night and helped her to see like how she was clouding the judgment surrounding her own circumstance. Like, well, he did this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and is he gonna come back? And I'm like, why would we even want that back? Because that's no, no, because that's not good behavior. But because we're placing like this, like, oh, he's so good and amazing. Maybe he was, but the things that he did that led to the way, it's like, you've got to empower yourself to be like, no, I don't want that back. Because if I want that back, I'm going to attract that back and repeat that cycle over and over. So I need to see clearly and make sure that he is shifted. And if he does shift back out of it at some point, I'm not going to let that shift me out of it at that point. And if I do shift out of it at that point, he shifts out of it at that point, we may go back to separation and learning our lessons and things like that. But then later down the road, we'll get that second chance to do it right, to balance it out, to fix the fucking stupid shit and have the 4 of Wands, because that's what's destined to do. But you've got to watch and learn from each other. You got to watch and learn the world. You got to not juggle your own value and worth in this, not get caught up in the could've, should've, would've, maybes, possiblies, like, he did this before, because I guarantee you these triggers will come up. when you go from being like, oh, I'm single and I'm sexy and I'm confident, I'm all alone, I feel great again. Here they come, and maybe you're good. But then, like, you get close and those walls go down a little bit. Now you're vulnerable. It's instincts inside of us to be like, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't want you to fuck me up, so I'm going to fuck you up so you can't fuck me. Like, it's, you know, and we don't even do it consciously, but a lot of times we do it. You know, so just be very mindful of the seeds that you're planting in this. Like trust that that shift in his energy is there. Trust that you're valuable enough to have it be there for the long haul. He doesn't have to go back to bad behaviors. He doesn't have to go back to ghosting. He doesn't have to go back to breaking your heart. You've healed your heart. You can maintain that healed heart regardless of his actions, is what we really need to do. Like, okay, come on in, and I'm going to be vulnerable with you. I'm going to be expressive with you. And if you do something stupid and run off again, or you do something stupid and hurt me again, I'm not going to take it personally. I'm not going to, like, it, yeah, maybe it'll hurt, but I'm not going to let it be the death of me. I'm not going to make it mean something about me. I'm not going to make it, and if anything, it does mean something about me. It means that, like, I missed the red flags, or I behaved in a way that predicted the future, so that I created something that was out of my insecurities. I'll own up to those things and face those things. But, like, if I'm being my best self and they do something that, you know, runs from that or just hurts me or doesn't feel fair or whatever, I'm not going to let it become like, that means I'm horrible, or I'm so, you know, whatever. We let it be the death of that situation and those burdens, and love ourselves regardless, so we can still rise up and not take it so personal. It's not a personal attack usually when someone, like, does these things. It's because they're hurt, and we don't always want to be like, oh, hurt people, because that, you know, perpetuates more hurting people and getting away with it. We want to realize that hurt people are hurting people because they need to heal, and I need to heal. If that hurt person's showing up in my reality to hurt me, there's something in there that needed to become this, and I feel like you've worked on this, you've done this, you're there, so now you have that strength to be like, I don't know, like, I will walk away if it's not to my standard of, like, fucking niceness and goodness and quality time and, like, actual vulnerability, like not being hidden under a cloud, not being, you know, short-term thing, not being a wishy-washy, I don't know, like, we don't need to know from now till forever, but, like, my intention isn't to go into something that is wishy-washy, and if yours is, then just stay away and have that be the day one thing. Like, if you can slowly move towards whatever with me and you just want to see how it goes, fine. But, like, just know that I'm not the type that's going to be like, oh, you're talking to her too, and you're talking to her too, and you're sleeping with that one, and you're doing stupid fucking shit, fuck you, goodbye, I'm an empress. And maintain that, and be, like, you know, knowing what your happy ever after is, and don't settle for anything less than that, because there is somebody out there that will give you that victory, and it's usually you that's going to be the one that determines that victory by embodying that version of yourself, so that other people can come mirror that to you. Because if you're always like, I don't know, at any second he's gonna, oh, I don't know, he might have shifted, but then he goes back, then you'll break your own heart by doing those things, or even allowing it to let that be. So, like, dude, this guy fucking did what? Why do you even fucking like him? You know what I mean? Like, no. Like, and that's, I feel like that's where you're at now. So he will know that. And it will be a totally different dynamic, because if he does do something like, you know, wishy-washy, comic bullshit, you're not going to let it take you out of this. You're going to maintain this. And if anything, that will probably lead to the reconciling and that maturity that comes with, like, you can't, you're, no. And if he doesn't want to be that mature person on that side of it, I feel like you know your value enough now to not even entertain it or let it fucking throw you up on the progress to the one. Because you'll just be able to accept the fact, like, all right, he ain't it. He ain't casting that role perfectly. So I'm going to stop trying to cast him in it. Because this movie's bombing. Because I'm letting this guy fucking, you know, so get creative too in how you do navigate. Like, you don't have to be a bitch. You don't have to be hateful. You don't have to be mean. This is the thing with empaths and stuff. It's like we feel so mean to be, like, having boundaries and self-respect, because we've never done it. We've always been people pleasers. But that's where that imbalance comes from, is when we're constantly hurting ourselves to appease others, or doing what we don't want to do because someone else wants us to. And when we shift that people get triggered at that. They get mad at that. They get all like discombobulated, like, what the fuck? And that may cause illusions for a little while, but it's usually ego bullshit. That's like, well, man, let's look at your side on this. How were you behaving? Were you open and vulnerable? Were you expressive? Were you kind of like spontaneous in the whole fucking like let me just keep breaking your heart and not really showing too much? I wonder why she may have boundaries now, man. I wonder why. Like, that's only necessary and needed, and it's what comes out of what we go through. But I do feel like you can celebrate, come together, have the passion, have the good times, have the victory, have the balance, and that the energy has shifted. Just be creative in how you navigate it so you can maintain him being in this energy without him dropping into this. Because as soon as he starts to drop into this, like self-sabotage, bullshit, blah, 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 and you let it get into your head and mean something about you, then you drop your value out of that Queen of Pentacles, so you don't get a King of Pentacles because you dropped your own value to match into the vibration of the karmic bullshit that he's spitting at you. So instead, be like, we don't put up with this. I'm too valuable for this. He can either rise up and meet me here, or justice will be served, and I'll be happy on my motherfucking own because I don't need that. I'm ready for this. I'm not afraid of it anymore. And if somebody's too afraid to love me, I'm not afraid to find somebody who will communicate it and not repeat these cycles that are boom, boom, leaving me feeling like, what the hell happened? But yes, he does know, and I feel like he does want to commit to you. And I feel like, you know, there is the possibility that he could get a little weird at times. So just be very mindful of the seeds that you're planting right now so that those don't get juggled in there. Don't give up on your happily ever after. Just be aware of the subconscious. Like, you'll catch yourself, you know, catch yourself. Even set the intention right now that I'm going to catch myself so that my union doesn't get messed up. I'm going to love myself so that my anxiety doesn't win. I'm going to manifest the best, and he's going to show his best because I'm my best. And if he's truly my mirror, he will rise up to the occasion. He may not always do it exactly at the same time. He may be a little bit behind, or he may even test mine. But if it's meant to be and I plant the seeds appropriately, what is meant to be will be. In Renee, namaste.